With Apple expected to release the iPhone 12 and 12 Pro variants later this year, let's take a look at some previous generations of iPhones, starting with the iPhone 4S and working our way up to the iPhone 12 Pro Max prototype. We'll take a look at some rumors and expectations of what's going to change between the iPhone 11 and 11 Pro and this newest generation of iPhone. So we'll take a look at some rumors first. 5G, 120Hz ProMotion display, LiDAR scanner, new overall design aspects. So we'll take a look at all that first, and then we'll work our way through our previous generations of iPhones and get a closer look at what we can expect with this newest generation of iPhone. So here's a mock-up of what we expect the iPhone 12 to look like, similar to the iPhone 11 and 11 Pro Max, with some overall design changes. So harping back to, as they're showing here, the iPhone 4, 4S/iPhone 5 era with the more squared off edges of the iPhone. But let's scroll up and see all of the new aspects that are coming along with the 2020 iPhone 12. So we're expecting 4 different variations. So 2 iPhone 12s and then 2 iPhone 12 Pros, the Pro and the Pro Max. So the iPhone 12 will come in 2 different sizes, 5.4 inches, which is harping back to the days of the iPhone 6, iPhone 7 size-wise. So here is an iPhone 7, and here is an 11 Pro Max. So quite the size change there. So it will be very nice to see a smaller iPhone in this newer generation. And then it'll also come in the 6.1 inch version, and then the iPhone 12 will be 6.1 as well, and the iPhone 12 Pro will be 6.7 inches. So a bit of a step up in the Max. So we're going from 6.5 to 6.7, and then some slight steps in size for the 12 Pro and the 12. So in terms of pricing on the iPhone 12s, they're expected to start at $649, which is a really good price point, and that'll be for the 5.4 inch. As you can see, the 6.1 inch will go up to $750, and then the 6.1 inch Pro version will be $999, and the 6.7 $1099. So very similar to Apple's past pricing for the iPhone 11 and 11 Pros. So it is nice to see Apple sticking to their similar pricing from the iPhone 11 and 11 Pro, and that we're not getting charged extra for the new features that they're bringing to this generation of iPhone. So they're also saying that it's possible that all 4 variants will have OLED displays. It is also possible that the iPhone 12s will just have regular LCD displays rather than OLED, but hopefully we'll see all OLED displays on these models. And we should also see 120Hz ProMotion on all the displays as well. Again, more so likely with the Pro versions, but still a possibility on the iPhone 12s as well. And then we're also expecting to go from 2 cameras or 3 cameras on the Pro models to 2 cameras or 3 cameras plus a LiDAR sensor. So the LiDAR scanner will be used for augmented reality and sort of more accurate distance measurements as seen on the newest generation of iPad Pro, but we'll see that again now with the iPhone 12. So on the iPhone 12 Pro and Pro Max, so this will create a much more symmetrical look on the iPhone 12 Pro and Pro Max, going from 3 cameras to a more suitable 3 camera and a LiDAR sensor. So it'll look a lot nicer. So if we look at the back of our prototype, you can see there the 4 cameras or the 3 cameras and the LiDAR sensor. So it looks a little bit nicer on the back of the phone. Perspective name, again, iPhone 12. And the design, this is really sort of the keys here. And I also forgot to mention 5G is expected to come with this new generation of phone, which will be very nice. As soon as we get 5G infrastructure, that'll create a lot higher speeds when it comes to downloads, uploads, everything on your phone. And like I mentioned before, the overall appearance and design of the iPhone 12 is really the biggest change here. So we're expected to go back and harp back to the iPhone 4 or the newest generation of iPad Pro, that sort of style when it comes to the phone. So rather than the rounded edges that we see with the iPhone 11, dating back really to the iPhone 6, we're now going back to the squared off edges, which creates sort of that nicer grip in the hand as compared to sort of that it's still a good feel in the hand with the 11 and 11 Pro, but it's a little bit nicer, I feel. with the more squared off edge. And so going to the actual mock-up, the render of the iPhone 12, you can see much more squared off, same button locations on the phone, still Lightning. It was possible that we were going to go portless with the iPhone 12, but we're still going to have the Lightning port, no USB-C like with the iPad Pro, most likely still Lightning port, but we should see a much smaller notch at the top of the iPhone, making it look a little bit newer, more modern in terms of other smartphones out in the market. Still no teardrop or really small hole cut punch out for the camera, but with all the Face ID technology that's built into this phone, it's really hard to bring it into that small package. But Apple's done a nice job here. If we can see this much smaller notch, that should be a nice step in the right direction for the iPhone. And it looks like the bezels around the edge of the glass and the screen are a little bit smaller as well, which should increase sort of that appeal, that more modern look on the iPhone 12. So not mentioned in this article, it's also possible that we'll have an underscreen fingerprint sensor in the iPhone 12 and 12 Pro Max and the iPhone 12 Pro, but also unlikely. Face ID has sort of worked well for Apple so far, so it's a possibility we see an under-the-screen fingerprint sensor, but not guaranteed. And in terms of colors, we should see a new color with navy blue. So from what I've read with the rumors, they're going to eliminate the green color and bring in navy blue, which is a really nice addition and should be a very popular color option when it comes to the newer phones. And here we have the overall design of what we're expecting with the layout of the phone. So the three cameras and the LiDAR sensor bringing a nice symmetrical look to the back of the iPhone and the smaller notch. So going off of these renders here, I was able to come up with my physical prototype. So created the CAD file and then 3D printed it, and this is what we were left with. So really nice looking 3D printed design, really good feel in the hand. So we'll take a look at our physical prototype, compare it against our previous generations of iPhones. So we have a 4S, a 5S, a 7, and an 11 Pro Max, and we'll sort of see how all those culminated together in order to create this newest generation of iPhone. So now taking a look at our previous generations of iPhones. So starting with the iPhone 4, here we have an iPhone 4S. So this was sort of the start of the glass-backed iPhones. Very tiny camera. We also had the circular volume buttons from back with this generation of iPhone, and of course the home button. So this is going to be where Apple is going to start harping back to with the iPhone 12s, so we can have that squared off edge that we are used to with this style of iPhone. But we'll take a look at the iPhone 5S because it's going to be much similar to that model than compared to the iPhone 4 and 4S. So now if we take a look at the iPhone 5S, you can see we now have Touch ID, and this is sort of going to be a very similar style to the iPhone 12s. So we still have the circular volume buttons, which were eliminated with the iPhone 6, but this style with the edged aluminum, very squared off, very nice in the hand, that is going to be what we're harping back to with the now iPhone 12. Already seen in the iPad Pro, but with the iPhone 12, it will be much more abundant in Apple's lineup. And it looks really, really nice. I always liked this design. With the iPhone 6, Apple went to the more rounded off edges, but it's nice to see Apple going back to one of their tried and true designs from the iPhone 5 and 5S. So now taking a look at an iPhone 7. So with the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 7, we got the larger footprint from an iPhone. We also got the squared off volume rocker buttons. So we still have the single camera. We won't see multiple cameras until the iPhone 10. But this is sort of where Apple started to go with the more rounded off edges of the phone. Still an incredibly slim phone, as you can see, compared to the newer versions of iPhones. Still have Touch ID, but a much smaller screen, compared to the iPhone 10. But this is sort of where Apple has gone with the direction of their iPhones, all the way up to the iPhone 11 and 11 Pro. And now taking a look at Apple's newest phone, and this has been my daily driver since it came out, the iPhone 11 Pro Max. Sorry for all the smudging and the fingerprints, but this will be similar to what we will see with the iPhone 12 in terms of the camera bump design. So we'll go from the 3 asymmetrical camera layout to the 3 camera plus the LiDAR scanner, which should make this look a little bit nicer and cleaner in terms of it just being more symmetrical. But overall, very similar design. We will, of course, see a smaller notch at the top of the phone, but overall very similar in terms of the screen and the overall layout of the phone. Of course, the internals, the new chip, the 5G, that of course will only be with the iPhone 12, but overall design-wise, very similar outside of going from squared edges compared to the rounded edges. And now taking a look at our iPhone 12 prototype 3D print. So as you can see, compared to the iPhone 11 Pro Max, a much smaller notch at the top of the phone. So we're going much smaller with the iPhone 12, and the very nice symmetrical 4, not camera, but 3 camera and a LiDAR sensor design on the back camera hump. And I tried to go with a navy blue color, turned out a little bit purple, but looks pretty cool, I will say that. But as you can see, a really nice feel in the hand with this phone. The squared off edges do feel really, really nice in the hand and do give you a better grip on the phone compared to the iPhone 11 Pro. But I'm really looking forward to seeing the 120Hz ProMotion display, the smaller notch, and 5G all put into this newest generation of iPhone. A lot of upgrades, a lot of cool features that we don't get in the iPhone 11 and 11 Pro. So really looking forward to it. I hope you guys are also. So if you have any questions, any comments, be sure to leave those below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel.